What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Iron Mike Tyson. Get this, Mike Tyson ready for Jake Paul, knocks out Mike Perry in 6 rounds. As we know, Jake Paul warmed up for his November 15 clash with Mike Tyson by stopping Mike Perry in 6 rounds in Tampa, Florida. Okay, Paul, which is 10-1-7, looked on course for an early night against Perry, which is 0-2. Okay, who has made his name as a bare knuckle boxer when he set him down in the first round with a wide cuffing right hand. Perry bounced right back up, however, and tried to swarm Paul in the corner. Paul, however, landed a hook and a right hand before missing it with an uppercut at the end of the round. Okay, now okay, here we go. Mike Tyson, looking at the 6-round destruction of Mike Perry by the hands of Jake Paul, states that he is ready. And let me counterpunch. I think that Jake Paul took that fight. It was a good fight. I think Jake Paul, just had better fundamentals. I think Mike Perry, the lack of, made that fight what it is. That fight could have been winnable for Perry. It wasn't like he wasn't hurting him. It was just his punches were not they were not landing. Okay, and they weren't landing because they weren't in position to land. Certain arm punches were, and yeah, he had Jake Paul cut, and then it was a competitive fight. But again, you're dealing with someone like Mike Perry that knows nothing about boxing. Bare knuckle fighting and boxing are 2 different sports. Okay, you know what I mean? Bare knuckle fighting. Listen, UFC and all that shit. Let me tell you something. When you go into the boxing ring with that type of ideology, you'll end up like Francis Ngannou was. Let that sink in. And Mike Perry coming in with his hands down, and Jake Paul is back, and he's hitting this guy. But what is he doing? He's jabbing. Mike Perry wasn't even jabbing. So yeah, it was a good tune-up for him. And Mike Tyson, of course, is recovering or recovered from his issues that he was having, and he's ready to take them on. But looking at that fight and saying if Mike was there that night, I think that Mike would have knocked out Jake Paul. He would have hurt Jake badly. You know what I mean? Because based on, he's not in there with someone that doesn't know what they're doing. And it's crazy. The only thing that Jake Paul has for him is age. But that opens up a lot of factors, speed and maybe timing and maybe stamina, right? But this is 8 rounds. So, but even Jake Paul was getting tired after the 4th or 5th. So that tells you something about Jake Paul. He's not as in shape as he leads on to be. That means that he has only been training for a certain amount of time and conditioning himself to go a certain amount of rounds based on what he feels that he can do to that opponent. Okay. And with Mike Tyson being that age, if he has 8 rounds in him, he probably won't need 8 rounds to knock out Jake Paul. He would probably need 1. You know what I mean? But we don't want to come off like Zili Big Bang Zang now, do we? Because we know what happens to Zang if he doesn't get the knockout. He runs out of gas. That's what happens when you get older. You no longer have the testosterone and the wind, and you know what I mean, the energy, or the conditioning, or the will to get conditioned to that degree to be ready for a fight like that. Okay, so I believe that Mike Tyson saying that he's ready for Jake Paul, I think Mike has seen something, a lot of flaws in Jake Paul that he can capitalize on early. That's why he looked at that, as you can tell, the caption there. He looked at that particular fight and he seen what Jake Paul was doing, and he was like, okay, I got him. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Iron Mike Tyson stating that he is ready for Jake Paul November 15th. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.